What do I think is going to happen as a result of this? Well, I see the Homegrown Terrorist Act being brought out of the mothballs that it's been placed in. Remember this one? Passed by the House, never voted on by the Senate, just sitting there waiting. Just like the Patriot Act was sitting, waiting in a drawer somewhere, just for that thing to happen that would bring it out of that drawer and get it passed into law. So we have two multiple cop killings within a very short period of time. We have another mass murder that took place in New York. And I ask you, are you naive enough to think that the tragedy of lives lost and the horror that is being experienced by families and friends of the victims and the people who perpetrated the acts is ever going to be the focus of what has happened in the aftermath? No. Everything is turned political. And I realize I run the risk of being accused of the same thing by glorifying it in this video, but I am a reporter and I am a commentator. And part of what I do is to comment on where society is going, where it's come from, and where we're at now. And where we're at now breeds this type of thing. Again, I don't condone it. I don't condone violence on anybody's part. But I can understand the underlying mentality of where this comes from. Do you understand? This country that we live in today is breeding this sort of thing. But I'm going to tell you some things right now. The final analysis. This person is going to be painted as a conspiracy wacko. He's going to be painted as a gun nut. Whether or not these things are true is irrelevant. This is the propaganda that's going to come out. It may be all true. None of it may be true. But his best friend said that he ran a pirate radio station already. Well, pirate radio. It's probably a conspiracy wacko. Probably thinks 9/11 was an inside job. Like that's a big conspiracy thing. Probably scared of the government. Probably a Ron Paul supporter. Probably everything that the MIAC report talked about. The perfect candidate for a FEMA camp, in other words. Homegrown terrorist. This guy is going to be the poster child for homegrown terrorism, just the same way as the Binghamton mass murderer is going to be painted as the poster child for gun control. And again, this furthers the gun control agenda too. So it's a win-win for the people in positions of power to exert and control their power over people in this country. It's a fucking shame, is what it is, because people's lives have been lost. But the fact of the matter is that the lives lost are going to be totally lost on the people in positions of power in this country. Instead of focusing on ways to improve the fucking situation in this country, to improve the lives of people in this fucking country, people and families, so they are not put into a position where they would even consider doing something like this. Murdering people. Shooting fucking people in the head. Going to a fucking immigration center and killing people. Shooting cops that come in response to a police call. What would cause people to just snap like this? Do you think it's just going to be these 1, 2, 3 isolated incidents? No. The entire country, the entire economy, everything that is brewing under the surface in this country is just poised to create more and more of the same shit. If anything is going to be done to save these people and to prevent future fucking catastrophes like this, there has to be a new focus on what is going on with the people in this country and what needs to be done to address the very real problems that people have in this society. And you're not getting any of that from the fucking government. So it's a sad day all the way around for everybody involved. For the police, for the families of the victims, and for the family and friends of the person who committed these crimes, allegedly. But I'm telling you right now, poster boy for Homegrown Terrorist Act. Brought out of the mothballs. I could even see a congressional inquiry into this whole thing. Why the big upsurge in violence? What can be done to protect the people in this country from the horrible violence? Well, why don't you get to the underlying fucking causes? Rather than trying to address a fucking symptom, why don't you try to cure the motherfucking disease for once? Thank you. Good night.